Oh Jesus, it's on again.
No, let's look great.
This meeting is being recorded.
I know. You know, I think it's the past couple months they announce it whenever the sessions. So, I pin one, more people.
Hello everyone.
Morning.
Chị Hoang. Morning, Rosie.
Ha, Ethan, you're upside down, man.
Damn, what's wrong with my camera? There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
God, back to school, really?
There we go.
Oh Jesus, back to school.
Okay, I said 10:40. Well, I said 10:50, so we'll give people another 5 minutes so we can chit chat while waiting for other people. We have the two presenters here. So how are everybody today?
I'm doing well. Actually, I just had a mock interview with one of our member, not our SpeakUp club, but a Hoang member in the morning, and it was great. Like, she is an entrepreneur. So very interesting background and very interesting career path, and it's really inspiring. I was thinking, like, after she finished with all of her interview and such, like, we might even invite her to our club and she might make a presentation about entrepreneurship, because she has like a master in what is that, startup and entrepreneurship. So very interesting background, a lot of experience to share with us for sure.
So you said she's an entrepreneur. What business she's in?
She worked for like a coaching consulting before, and now she wanted to do more like tech related entrepreneurship. So very
IT startup.
Yes. Yeah.
How's everybody's week? It's been a short week, right? Because we have the long weekend. Oh gosh, I was telling the group, it's like I have 4 days off from work, and I'm so ready to retire. I feel like so old already.
So I guess everybody is right now in Toronto. Most of you are in Toronto, right?
No, I'm from Vancouver.
Vancouver?
Yeah, just moved here 4 weeks ago. But this week is the first week I'm back to school in person. So a lot of things, yeah.
Keep it, Rosie. I'm gonna ask you about it later in our table topic.
How's your first week in Canada, Rosie?
Yeah, so actually I've been here 4 weeks already. The first 2 weeks in quarantine. The third week is just to buy a furniture for my room and then get to know some supermarket. And then this week is just for school. It's a little bit overwhelming because it's very weird seeing people in person. Like last year, the whole last year I studied in Vietnam, right? So I just see my friend from this park from this to this. But when I go to see them in person, they really tall, like most of them really tall, and whenever I talk to them I have to do like chin up. And like it's a little bit weird for the few minutes, like trying to recognize people in person, but it's really nice. I feel lucky that this year I can see people in person and study in person, so it's more interaction between student and instructor. And I also go in to do my internship next week too, so a lot of things going on. It's really good.
That's
I
great.
like it here.
Yeah. I know. First week, I used to live in Toronto. I live about 45 minutes away from Toronto now and travel occasionally to Toronto. But I can feel the business and people are so dying to go back to normal, hanging out at the bar and the weekends, and students are crazy. And I was telling one of my friends, I was like, this is crazy. The new crowd students are so different than the crowd of students that I get to know like years and years ago. It made me feel so old when I say that. Anyway, 11:03, so 2 more minutes and we can start. We have Swan here, Ethan, myself, Duc. I don't think Adam will join today. He's busy with some stuff. So we don't have the grammarians, but I'll try to stay on point to look for grammars, pronouns, words. Again, no pressure. This is like, we all not professional presenters, but I hope everybody will enjoy the sessions. Welcome everyone. I see familiar faces. I see Tien, Tran, Duc. Are you gonna turn on the camera so I can see you? Ducky.
Sorry, I'm walking outside right now. Just keep going. Yeah.
I know Sunday is your virtual day, right?
I think he's on a date.
Looks like
where
it.
am I? Where am I? No, I'm dating with the bride. This is my ritual process, grocery shopping. So moving on.
Last week was a beautiful walkway to the lake and everything. And the Sunday is the grocery day. Anyway, let's start, guy. If anybody join later, they'll join us. So today, thank you everybody to join the SpeakUp Club on Sunday. Every other week, we'll have the meetings and everybody's gonna join together. We do presentation, not professionally, but we practice and feel comfortable talking in front of other people. And we have two guest speakers today. They're Tran, and I'm sorry, I pronounced your name Tony. Like, gosh, I'm so sorry. And then there's Kim, she's a fitness and nutrition coach, and Tan is a software developer. Swan have a perfect, so this is the agenda today. We'll have opening sessions where I talk a lot, and then everybody gonna have a chance to introduce themselves as a panelist. And then we have two presenters. And at the end of the presentation, we're gonna have a table topic questions around education. So this is a new model that we try to launch the sessions where we have two presenters. One presenter, we have a break, question and answer, and then we have another presenter, and then we'll have table topic questions at the end of the presentation, so everybody have a chance to talk. So that's the whole point of this club is about. And then we have the missions of the club. And Swan, do you want to pick somebody on the audience to say the missions of the club and then the rules?
So I'm wondering if anyone can volunteer to just speak out the Hoang SpeakUp Club mission. Anyone to volunteer? Chị Hoa.
Oh, it's a commitment to provide fun, interactive, and supportive platform where every member can practice the public speaking skill, share, connect, and convey their thoughts and feeling with others. Together we care, we share, and we thrive as a community.
Thank you, Tien.
Nice job, Tien.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I also can say the rules also.
Yeah.
So you must have fun, be yourself, respect each other, embrace honesty and transparency.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And this is the profile of the facilitators. Myself, Laura, there's Ducky, Adam's not here, there's Swan, and Ethan. And that's about it. So let's start with the first speaker. Tan, do you want to?
Flora, before we start, may I ask, like, for the speakers, the length of the speech, it will be 7 minutes, right?
Yes.
So I'm I would like to introduce a little bit about my role as a timer. I will, as a role as a timer, I will remind the speaker like how much time they spend on their speech, and it will also help the meeting to run on time. So I will have with me the 3 cards here. For the speak, we have 7 minutes. I will read green card when you read 5 minutes. So don't panic, it will be okay to keep talking. And then when I will read this yellow card when you read 6 minutes. So it's maybe the time for you to wrap up your idea and your speech. And then when I read this pink card, that when you read 7 minutes, it is time for you to close your speech. And then I will give my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Flora.
Thank you, Swan. I totally forgot to mention the different role. I don't have the slide, but I'm the facilitator. Ethan will be the topic master later on. Swan will be the timer for your presentation. So as I said, 7 to 10 minutes, guys. After your presentation, there will be a little bit of Q&A. And then after that, Ethan will take over on the role of the topic master. So, ready, Tom? Do you want to start?
So start now?
Yeah.
Right now? Right now?
You can share the screen or you can just speak your way through.
Just speak my way through it because I didn't. It's just like to speak my way through.
Awesome.
I have some bullets, some outline for my speech. Okay. Hello everybody again. Today the signal is kind of weird, so I think it's weekend and the weather is bad. If you can miss a few things, or just ask me later at the end of the presentation. And the topic I would like to present today is the paradox of choices. So let's start. So I have a question, like how many people are able to take advantage of pessimism? And for my own answer, it's a lot, but it's not me. Usually it's not me. So when we talk about pessimism, it's very easy to say. It's when I heard the term and I was resonated with what we listen to, and when people they speak about pessimism, about choices, about opportunity, usually we just listen. And I heard this term from a few successful billionaires. They explain and give me tons of their real life experience, their real life example on how they work from how they were started from low income class, from nobody we can become somebody. And last year pandemic was a test for myself about this lesson. And the good thing is, you know, opportunity or luck doesn't come twice, but bad thing usually come very often. So the only way to survive is to take these drawbacks as my challenges. And yeah, as my whole personality, those challenges is what make myself. I'm happy to. In our current living society, they usually give us a lot of choices and make us believe that the more option we get, the more opportunity we have. For example, let's say when we plan to go for grocery in Walmart or Costco, we may plan to buy 2 or 3 particular items, let's say shampoo or bananas, and around 90% of us, we end up with the huge shopping cart and the big bill. So that's the way they decide to put their item in section, and they research, they learn, they master on it. And yeah, as my consequence, and usually I got off track of my direction too, and that's why many choices may drive us from to go to different direction. And as the 2020 pandemic, so for my personal story, as everybody know, a lot of businesses, they were forced to shut down or close and lay off a lot of employees. Many of them, they never return back to their business. And a lot of my clients, they terminated with their contract. So I really got cut off on income and stuff. Those things I've been built in 3 years, and then it became nothing. So at first, living with an almost empty pockets is not funny. It isn't comfy though. But this is how it is. You can choose, because the entire world is shut down, and I have had no complaints. Especially when I contemplate on myself, I see if it's still alive and breathe normally. I didn't have to go to ICU, so lucky enough. And losing money, however, the other side I have is free time. So accidentally, I become a millionaire in time. So we can imagine how many people in our country right now in Vietnam, they're currently living as same as we were last year. They had no food, they have so much trouble, they got locked down in the house. But last year when Canadian government, they noticed the lockdown last for a few weeks and then it turned out a few months. See, now it's become a year and a half or so, 18 months. So what Canadian watch at that moment was just Trudeau show in the morning. But every morning people watch on CP24 and see Justin Trudeau say this and that about this and that, and like, hey, he's handsome and this and that. And the thing we just see his hair get grow longer and longer day by day. And we got a tons of choices came up for financial supports, and usually people end up staying home and think about the next meal, just cook this, cook that in China, go grocery. So they stop people from going outside, but the other option open, and people have financial support. They have free money, let's say. They're shopping online, and at the end, everybody know we watch Netflix and go online shopping, and Amazon stock, they went up like 100%, almost 150%, because people just go shopping online. So we got so much free time. So I contemplated on what I missed out last year. Like in many years, I didn't have time to self-study, to practice my personal skills. So I just started to learn a new programming language, which is Python. It's the name of the programming language. And also I reach out to friends and family, relatives to just check out to see, hey, how's it going? Are you still like survive? They, oh, I'm good. Okay, really lucky to hear that. And when I reach out to especially my relatives, I realized I did a lot of reconciliations. So in here, we don't meet people quite often in person. So, and then the distance, we live far, and then we may miss them a few times, and then later on, never call them. So now we come back and ask them this and that, and a lot of friends, they call me and they give me a lot of new advice from their own experience. And this is what I learned when I really reach out. And just to wrap up, the worst situation is never bad. So it's good, and when we have learned to win, and now have to win our own habit about laziness and postponement. Yeah, thank you for your listening.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, my first question is that how did it feel to do presentation in front of virtually lots of people?
Less pressure compared to the real presentation.
Exactly.
But still, sometimes because time went fast, right? And I have to wrap up and organize things that I want to say more, but try to organize them to fit in 7 minutes. So
Awesome. So you have a structure to your presentation?
yeah, I do.
The introduction to the body and then the conclusion.
Yes.
So I didn't get the conclusion at the end.
Yeah.
What actually the conclusion that you tried to deliver through your topic?
So when I wrap up, I just want to say a few more and then finish with the last sentence. But when I see the hurt show up, I just want to jump up into the last expression about to win my own habit, to win my laziness.
I think after the pandemic, there's a lot of people learn something about themselves that they never learned about themselves before. Personalism, is that like personality?
Yes.
Kind of?
I may miss two parts. One thing about personalism, another thing about pessimism and optimism. Three things. When I actually, because the thing is, I didn't know how long my presentation going to be, so I try to maximize 10 minutes, and then when I had 7 minutes, okay, I try to clear out what I have to speak within 7 minutes. So in 7 minutes, it's a very short one. So.
I know. I hope there's not many thoughts run around in your head when you do a presentation, because that's what happened to me as well.
Yeah.
I wrote down a lot of notes, but I'm going to leave it to the audience to ask you a couple questions before we move on to Kim, so she can have a chance to present her presentation. And at the end of her presentation, we can have the whole Q&A. Anybody in the audience have questions for
Can
Tom?
you explain? Sorry.
Go ahead, Tian.
Can you explain like in the shortcut, because I didn't like listen to it clearly. So can you like give me a few words about personalism? I kind of.
Oh, personalism, just about my own habits, like everybody has, and myself has laziness, postponement, negative thoughts, and so when we got into lockdown, right, or we lose something, the things we usually think about negative thoughts, like we regret, or shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that, and didn't that. But we have to figure out two things. One thing about what we have done bad, and the other thing is about the fact that we have to stay at home. We can do anything else. So
basically it's a habit.
It's a habit to deal with the real situation. You have to figure out two situation. One is belongs to you, what you make is become bad. The other thing is the fact, the reality. That's what I wanna explain.
Yeah, so basically it's a habit and perspective. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I got it.
Then?
So I see that the first 5 minutes you were doing just 5, but in the last 2 minutes you seem to like doing more gesture on your hands, because I don't know, have you practiced presentation on the mirror before you go into practice here, or you just make the content and you just go through with it in your mind, or you practice before?
Actually, I did some outlines, but I didn't practice actually. I just remember in my mind, just speak out.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Welcome.
See, I can see Sam as a nitpicker, just like the other significant other. Anyway, so that's everything for Q&A. So now, Kim, do you want to do your presentations about personal branding with social media? 7 to 10 minutes, and then Swan will be your timer.
Yeah. Right, let's do it. Can everybody say it?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. This is my first time to be in this room, and I'm so grateful for the chance to present here today. And my topic today is about non-toxic ways of using social media. And I will also give a bonus tips for building social media presence. Okay, let's go. Oh. So here are the outlines for my topic today. First, I'll talk a little bit about myself, about my background, why I decided to talk about this topic. And then I will give you some assumptions about everybody has on social media. Why is social media so toxic? The problems with it, and how can we reverse those problems? And like I said before, I will also give bonus tips for boosting your online presence. Right. So currently, I'm a senior student in the Bachelor of Public Relations at Constructive College in Kitchener. And recently, I just launched my freelance business because I have been passionate about fitness and nutrition for a long time. And I actually joined a entrepreneurship program in my school to help me launch this business. So you can see like the typical activities in a day as a fitness and nutrition coach, as well as a PR student, are to create content, to get inspirations from different sources of social media. So I get really active on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram, because that's where I got a lot of inspirations from fitness influencers, and also about the key marketing and PR trends. And I also want to get updated with the hottest topics in the field. So that's how I learn new skills and knowledge about fitness and nutrition, and also about public relations. See. So the question is, how is social media toxic? So why is it so toxic, do you think? Because first, when we use social media, it creates a feeling of, cannot resist to scroll through the feeds. So whenever I log into Facebook, I can easily, see the page constantly updated. And that means I passive scrolling through the feeds. And I just encounter a lot of brief periods of ecstatic collective frenzy. That means that we have short periods of feeling excited about the news, about the things that we see on people feeds. And it is also about one interesting fact. Nowadays, manufacturers, they design their learning systems so smartly that they know how to randomize rewards and punishment more effectively. For example, if you just watch a shopping online post about your new Adidas shoes, you can constantly get news about new release of those sports shoes in the next days. So the machine learns our behavior, and it know how to make us be interested in scrolling through more and more. Secondly, social media makes us feel, have a mental health breakdown. So we are bombarded with intimidating content. This means that any type of content nowadays can cause to have a mental breakdown. So people often post the content that portrays them in the most positive way. So this leads us to make a false assumption that they aren't having troubles like us. So we are living a mediocre life, an ordinary life. We aren't excellent as everybody else. So we tend to think that everybody's life is better than us, especially true in the fitness industry, where lots of influencers, they show their photoshopped image or sharing misleading information, like in the image I show you on the screen. So some of the girls, so this video alone gets, I think, around 400 million views on the internet through the clickbait titles. So they just use clickbait to get people attractions, and that is associated with fake news. It's the content that gets people riled up to get angry or to get excited. They don't actually convey knowledge, but rather to express emotions. This can be easily seen on the internet or on social media posts that fitness influencers try to trick people to buy their products. And now I want to pause a moment to make us think about social media usage. It's not about the substance, it's about the dose that makes the poison. That means that we can use it just a few minutes or maybe half an hour a day. It doesn't cause toxicity in that way, but if we use so much of that, it can become toxicity. Something related to fitness and nutrition here, I want to mention that when I coach my clients, I don't teach them to view or to distinguish between bad food or good food. You can eat your hamburger and still have a fit body because you just consume it for one a day. It doesn't cause much of difference in your body. And so if you constantly consume it at the weekend, when you decided to binge eat in a large portions of the hamburger, then it will become toxic. So we talk about the problems with social media. And so how can you reduce the toxicity of social media? First, I would recommend you to do a social media declutter. And what is it? It's a social media makeover. So when you today try to go through your Facebook and try to make a few steps. First, you can see that how many people am I actually following and receive valuable content from them, or how many pages are you actually following that you don't really care about anymore, or that you aren't interested in anymore. So that's will really help you get rid of unnecessary content and really help you focus to connect with the people that you really care about. And next is digital literacy. This means that you nowadays it's really critical to be a critical consumer of information. So you have to check the credibility of the authors on the internet or YouTube. So like the video I just mentioned on the last slide, that girl, she claimed that she has a personal trainer certification, but the information she presents seems misleading. And a lot of credible fitness expert in the industry, they dislike with her. So you have to be careful of what the content that you receive from the internet. So and also set goals around social media use. Why do you use social media, and what do you use it for? When you have a goal around it, it will be better. And it's best when you use social media to for collaborating with your classmates or with like-minded people, like for example on Reddit or on LinkedIn or even on our Facebook group Hoang Việt. The next thing I want to say that fact check, please don't just go through the title and share it with your friends, because it can contain false information, and it's often clickbait title. So you can use tools like Google Fact Check to check the credibility. It's just one of the tools. You can search more for other available tools. And lastly, it's really important to take a break. Try at least one day per week without minimal contact with the digital world. Spend your time in nature and to get to see real people, and to actually turn off some push notification from apps so that you don't constantly get notifications. And I really like to have an opportunity to get, to make connections with real people in our Facebook group. I think we just had a really fun event, but unfortunately, I'm currently living in Vietnam, so I missed that chance. But I would like to join you guys in the near future when I come back to Canada at the end of this year. Okay, my last slide is about bonus tips to boost your social media presence. Try to active strong. This means that try to take time to write thoughtful comments whenever you see a post from people. Try to give them comments or give them likes, or to give constructive feedback on their work that they share through their social media posts. And do you use this tip on LinkedIn? Be a thought leader. Try to write a news article about a topic that you are knowledgeable about. And also, like I said before, set up in-person interactions with people that we love and have like-minded mindset like us. So my last thing I want to say is that social media is often seen as a source of distraction, a waste of time, and a negative contribution to our mental health. Yet, when we use it strategically and mindfully, it can be a tool to expand our horizon, stay updated, and develop creative skills. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. And I would love to connect with you guys through my social media channels or on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. My every first question is that how did it feel?
Let's pause share a little bit and can look in front of the camera. Well, I feel a little bit nervous, although I study PR, but you know, whenever I try to present a topic that's quite, you know, sensitive like this, I get really nervous.
And it's funny, you work in PR. That should come naturally.
Yeah, because actually I'm an introvert, so probably
Everybody here is an introvert, mostly.
Yeah.
Speaking for everyone. And Tom
Yeah.
is like laughing because I know he's in IT and he's a developer and he's like put himself out there and he's laughing because he's an introvert too, like every one of us. Firstly, I have this thing about, I don't know, Ethan, back me up here. Everybody have an English accent. And is it just me or it's like I've been in Canada for a while and I notice everybody have an English accent? Like English accent?
British accent.
Yes, yes, I call
Yeah,
it English
so
accent.
I guess most of it was because, you know, depends on like the teacher that we would start, or like the environment when we first started to learn English. Like, you know, sometimes if you get an American accent teacher, then you're gonna speak not American English. But sometimes if you had a teacher who speak like, or like even British teacher, then your accent gonna be more of like the British side of it. And I can tell Kim, you have that British accent, so
Rosie too.
don't
Sorry.
change it. don't change it, because you know British
beautiful.
accent is always something that considered superior in in American
Properly.
environment. So and it's at a taste to you know the way that you speak as well. So on that note, though, amazing presentation, both Kim and Tan. Congratulations for your first presentation with like SpeakUp Club. I enjoy every single moment of both of your presentations, not only about the skill set that you guys have, the knowledge that you brought up, but also, you know, your courage by being here today. So thank you so much for that. So for Kim, I can tell you are a personal trainer, the way that you project yourself with, you know, a lot of like motivation. And I feel extremely inspired just by, you know, your voice and the way that you're trying to convey the message. So keep doing that. The only one small thing that I think, like, you know, just very tiny, very little, and I'm sure if you notice of that, you're going to be perfect with your presentation skill, is I'm not sure if you are reading from like the note or like where you study your presentation narrative by heart, but sometimes I feel it a little bit narrative. Like sometimes it feels to me, just sometimes, not all the time. I know this is your own experience. I know that you wrote it yourself and everything, but like sometimes, you know, we get nervous and we tend to read from the script. So it's just feel to me just a couple of sentences that feel a little bit narrative. So if you can, you know, I don't know where's your camera, but if you can look straight at the camera, and if you have the note, put it closer to your camera so that it's like a trick for people, you know, if it's in person, it's gonna be like, you know, eye to eye contact, right? Even though you are still reading the script. So just keep that in mind. But overall, everything is really good. I'm sure we can't wait for you to get back to Vietnam and, you know, sharing more stories and even giving like fitness advice to all of us here, because definitely I myself do need some too. So congratulations for both of you, Tran and Kim today.
Thank you, Ethan. So there's one thing that I noticed about the two speakers today, that I know you watch a lot of presentation skill videos. One thing that I noted is that when you ask questions for the audience, you didn't give them the chance to actually express their answer. So Tran, you asked the question at the beginning or in the middle of your presentation. Kim as well, you asked the question, but usually when you do a presentation, you ask the questions, then you wait for people to respond. And then you look at your audience and see if they respond to you. You don't ask question and then you go on to the next phrase. So that's what I see. So when you ask question, you give people a space and a chance to like, yes, I was that too. Yeah, I was like not fit. I was like introvert, that kind of thing. Okay. So that's just a tip for you when you do your next presentation. And that's how we train you, or we not train you, but we try to giving you feedback. So that's how an amazing presenter is. That's why I interpret, and that's what I learned as well. I'm learning myself too. So when you ask questions, give people space to like, hey, Ethan, back to school background, not like you. What's that? And then you give people space to respond. Right?
Okay.
Ethan agreed. So we give constructive feedback. When you present, take a deep breath, pause, see how everybody's doing, and give yourself a little time to actually reconstruct your thinking or your thoughts for the content. So I'm going to talk a little bit, but just me. Tran, great presentation. I love that you're prepared and you have your script and everything. When you do online thing, you can read through the script just like Ethan saying. Kim, if this is your marketing presentation, make it 7 minutes like Swan said. You went a little bit over time. So practice, it takes practice, okay? But you did great, you did great. And I know you're still in Vietnam, try to not giving people advices. I scroll social media, toxic too, but when you work in PR, social media, toxic, not going together, because PR is more about Instagram, Facebooks and everything. So might reconstruct your presentation to drive away from the toxic, but more about why social media is good for them in one aspect and not good for you in a personal matter. Like, okay, you PR yourself, okay, 3 hours off media, social media, I'm gonna spend some time with my friends, my family. So that's just the whole thing that I interpret. And now I leave the audience to feedback, because I talk too much sometimes. Anybody?
Winnie, can you go first? Because I'll go last.
Good morning, everyone. So just some further comments. So as Flora mentioned about, I mean, you should wait for a few seconds when you ask people questions. So I do understand that it is a virtual platform, so it's just very difficult to observe, I mean, other people reaction. So, I mean, for in-person presentations, you can easily see how people react when you say something or when you ask questions, and maybe like you get more confidence when you see like people not when you ask or when you say something. but because there is a virtual platforms, so I do understand that when we ask questions and we don't see anybody say anything, we just skip and continue with our presentation. So another tip is that, like as Flora mentioned, we can ask people, and if you don't know, if you are not sure if anybody has any ideas, you can call somebody out, suggest. So usually it should be the host of the event. So for example, if Flora, when she says something, she always called Ethan, something like that. So it's just a tip in case we have to do something. And another thing, when you mentioned British accents, so we grew up in Vietnam. We learned English when we were a kid. So basically, we learned British accents. For example, like we say often, or we say because, whatever, and then
often is often.
water, right? So don't worry about that, because when you move here, because Rosie and Kim are still in Vietnam, but when you actually move here, if you pay attention to how people pronounce the words, you will, automatically change how you pronounce them as well. So I always say water before, and then like when I move here, people say water, and then now I don't really remember how to say water unless
water and then water.
Intentionally do that. So it's just something like we just need to pay attention when people say something, and then we will change by ourselves, and then even we don't really know about that. Yeah,
because we humans adapt to culture, adapting things. That's why I watch English shows and then American show, and it's like water and then water, and okay, I don't have an accent, and I don't realize that until I watch a different show. But come on.
Oh, I'll let Chung go too, because just FYI for people, I will be usually the one that criticize people. I'll be the bad cop, so I'll leave to the last. So Chung, can you go ahead? We can't hear you.
We can't hear you still, Tran.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Oh, Chung,
hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I know that we passed the Q&A section, but I still have a question for Kim. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, so just gonna throw a little bit of curveball into you here. So because you work as a coach, right? You work with nutrition and fitness. I feel like it's such a big scope in terms of fact check and also internet literacy, because there's so many information out there. So as a nutritionist and as a coach, how do you decide which fact is true? Because even the best fact checker on YouTube, on Google, might not be the correct one. So how do you decide the fact that you give to your clients is the truest fact?
That's a good question. It's really difficult. But before I give out information to your audience, at least that I am trained in the field. That means I have to take a lot of time to read scientific research and spend time to learn about the real science behind fitness and nutrition. So what I mean by the fact check, I'm mentioning about the people that don't get certifications from fitness and nutrition, and they just don't give our information whatever they like. Those people aren't trained in the field, and oftentimes they are coached by other personal trainers, and they don't really have the knowledge to present the topic. So by saying that, I mean we have to judge the credibility of the authors first. For example, when I decide to follow an expert in the nutrition and fitness, I have to go through their website to see which school they graduate from, and how I can know for sure that they have the credibility to share on the information. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but okay, just one more. So even though like there are a lot of people that have degree and certification like to back them up, a lot of people nowadays are influenced to sell their own products, right? Even the best doctor, they want to sell their own medicine, and they try to promote that as well. So so like just a question, because I'm kind of interested in fitness as well, is that like if you find a method yourself, thing is working for your clients, and it's not too much of science like back it up, but you think it's true, so would you still suggest your client and stand your ground when criticism like coming?
Yeah, that's a question. So again, I have to say that we have to experience, because when we tell people something, they don't judge us at first. They might be critical. So I think everyone else is trying keto diet and they are losing weight. So why isn't it good for me? And I would say, oftentimes I would say that, so try it for yourself, and to record your feelings when you consume that carb diet, and to see how your body reacts, and to decide if you want to continue with it or not. And then I also want to support you to give you some real information about what are the outcomes of that diet. But I want to say that they have to experience, because once they experience, they know for sure what good and what bad for them. When it comes to fitness, nutrition, no single diet is best. You have to experience. And so we often think that you have to eat breakfast, and this you have to eat breakfast, right? Doctors tell us that, and seems like in Vietnam, well, when I don't eat breakfast, my parents always tell me to, or urge me to eat breakfast, but that isn't the case. Breakfast isn't the best meal in the day, so you have to experience. Some people, they can't consume breakfast, and that's perfectly normal. So again, have to experience with that.
Yeah, all right, so experience is okay. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you so much for your.
I want to make one comment before we go to the next sessions, but boo Google. Everybody thinks that they're a doctor and they're everything because of Google, because they can Google everything, but not everything Google tell you is 100% accurate, because people Google promote things, we know. So
okay, I'll go very quickly because you can just pick me.
Okay, give me just 30 seconds. So both topics are amazing, because Kim and Tran, you're talking about the personality, the personalism, and then Kim, you're talking about fitness, and then how fitness plan fit into together. So fitness, diet go together with your personality. Whatever your flavor is your body. You know what your body can take, you know what your exercise can do for you. So thank you so much for two speakers. And then now I'm gonna go to Doug. He's gonna ruin the show, and then we're gonna go to Ethan.
Okay, thank you for the presentations. First of all, regarding the giving out the questions to the audience topic we discussed earlier, I disagree with Flora, because if you see TED Talks, there are two ways of presenting the questions. One is that you actually give the audience the time to talk and answer with. That gives the very friendly atmosphere. But the other way to present it is to give them something to think about, but not to speak about. So I didn't catch how Tone gave out the questions earlier, but there's a difference between saying, can you answer this, versus I want you to think about this question. So there are two different ways of doing it, and it depends on your presentation style, your personality. Do you want to be friendly and engaging, or do you want to be the thoughtful, deep, analytical person? So you don't really need to give people's time to answer it. It depends on how you want to do it. Second thing with Tone's presentation is that I feel like you were more of a storyteller rather than a presentation. Because from what Kim's presentations, you can see that she has a structure of saying, today I'll talk about point A, point B, point C. While yours, I know you talked about billionaires having options and then Amazon stocks and then Vietnamese people and Justin Trudeau's hair. So there's many examples that I personally couldn't follow. So it's best to have a point in the presentation showing that, hey, I will talk about this and that, first one, second part, third point. So that's that. For Kim's, we don't have time for Q&A. It's just that my own question is, you have many wonderful solutions for the social media usage, but how can I apply that to my parents, to old people? Because I know they use social media in such very non-traditional ways that it's hard for them. So just the questions for thoughts. I don't need for answers right now because we're running out of time. So those are my 2 cents. So coming back to Ethan for the Toastmaster.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doug. And I completely agree with you about and everybody else too, great feedback. So let's move on. It's kind of a little bit tense. So just before I start, Flora, can you move to the next presentation slide about the feedback?
I don't have it.
Oh, you don't have it?
Before we move on,
Okay.
Stan was laughing. And okay, so this is me about giving presentation virtually and in person.
Okay.
So what, as a facilitator, I noticed that as a virtual facilitator, you can interpret everybody emotion, just how I'm doing right now. Because I can look at Doug, I can look at everybody. I can look at Rosie and I can look at Jung and then Stan. I can know he's smiling throughout the presentation. So it's the skill that you have to master. It's not like you focus on one person, but you can do that too. You can look at your presentation, spit your mind, and then look at everybody, facial expression. You can do that too. It just take practice, just like how I'm doing, this is like the 5th or the 6th presentation that I've been doing with this group. You can do that too, guys. You just need to scan what you're doing, scan your presentation. If you practice, you know what you're talking about, you can bullshit your way a little bit to your presentations and then, swing with it. Enjoy, have fun with your presentation. That's what the message is about. And then Sam, you have 1 minute to talk about what's in your mind because you've been smiling, and then Ethan can start.
Could I see this is really interesting about when I hearing about the topics that they present. For Kim, she present about social media. For me, I'm kind of for most of the time that I'm not working, I'm not studying or watching YouTube, I'm always browsing Facebook or Instagram. And the most addicted content was the negative one because it was so funny, just for my opinion. So when I heard she do negative feedback about doing some toxic contents on the social media, I was like, oh my God, that was the thing that helped me relax every almost every day. I watching now, I laugh so hard about the drama, all the things on the Facebook, and it keep me relaxed. I don't know. So I think it's just about the usage, the way that we use it, and we think is toxic or non-toxic. Just depends on the people. And then Ducky told us about the usage for the parents, and oh shit, I was like, my mom always watching those horrible news, and I don't know how to stop her, but it just popping on Facebook, and even if we trying to tell her how to turn it off, she didn't know how to. So Duck can really know how to do the questions. That was like, my mom cannot do that too. And and for ton presentation, it was so good. I like the way that he just doing his speech, he just like Doug said, it was like a storyteller, and he just slowly present it, but it's not really unorganized. So I cannot really follow the flow of his, because he gives so much many example and not really related to each other. So I'm not get the points of his presentation after all. But then he make a conclusion about showing he learned some new skills and depict these some old habits or bad habits, and Yeah, it was like it was pretty hard, but if you make it upon A from B like Kim, it's gonna be way more better. But keep your style, keep the pace that you speak. That's the best. I love that pace of speak. That's it.
All right. So thank you so much, San. I know that we don't have a lot of time left. We only
Yeah.
have we all
12:15. Is everybody okay with 12:15?
um
American Canadian time and then Vietnamese time.
well
Sorry, what
it-
time is that? You know what's the time in Vancouver? Yeah.
I don't know. Back 3 hours. So
3 hours. Okay,
It's 9
so
a.m. in
Nine,
Vancouver.
nine,
okay, so 15 more minutes.
9:15.
yeah.
I
well
thought it's gonna be an hour and 15 minutes.
Ethan,
yeah.
so
So
5
so
questions.
well,
I'm-
probably like what do you guys think about, we might move the table topic to another section. That's totally fine. Like
No, Ethan, you
the
have the background for back to school. I know you.
why this is only 15 minutes, and
Yes, so
I
15 minutes.
I think 15 minutes is not enough for a table topic.
exactly
but,
exactly
yeah.
and we try to respect everybody time too, right? So we always try to have everybody to have the opportunity to talk, and respecting the timeline of the event as well. So and that's where Swan's role come in, right? So next time she probably will answer Tam with the Q&A as well, so that everybody will stick to it, because that is exactly the skill, not only for presentation here, but when you work in a working environment too. You're gonna go for a meeting. If it's gonna be 1 hour, after 1 hour, your manager can just walk out of the room, right? So well, that is me when somebody's gonna
So off the book. Okay, so one thing. I'll let everybody know this is the new concept that we're trying with the 2 presenter and then Q&A. We have 2 presenter and Q&A for an hour. And then Ethan will gonna like sit on his chair questioning about his question that he prepared. Anyway, so Ethan, we have an hour for everybody, presenters and Q&A. Both of the facilitator, well, all the facilitator have a chance to talk. Some of the audience have a chance to talk. So how about we do 3 questions from your list? Back to school thing, and then we'll move on.
Flora, instead of doing that, I was thinking maybe we can talk a little bit about like giving feedback, like the way that we're giving feedback, because I noticed that today is an amazing like presentation section, that we got a lot of feedback, like constructive one from on the audience, like not on, but like most of you guys like trying to be more like critic, not criticize, but like being critic about, the way Kim and Tran making the presentation. This is constructive, right? This is for you guys to improve, and please, by all means, we're not like trying to put anybody down, right? And this is like for your own improvement and for everybody else as well, because I'm sure even though we don't make the presentation, but we can learn from the way that you making the presentation as well. The way that the feedback was given is definitely something that like I myself can learn from too. So that's great. Just a quick reminder for everybody about the way that we're making the feedback. So I know about a very interesting method to make the feedback. It's called like sandwich feedback method. So the sandwich always have like the 2 bun, one at the top and one in the bottom, and there's a body in the between. So usually when we make the feedback, start with something positive, like something good about the way that they're making presentation, or something, even something good about themselves. And then those that more of like, constructive feedback is more of the critique, something that they can improve, something that they can do it better, but they might feel a little bit offended about it. Put it right in the middle. And then once you finish with that, right? So seal up your feedback with something that is more negative, so that, because once you start with something positive, people is gotta open up more. Like they will love, like, and once people open up more, they will take your feedback in a better approach, right? So start with something positive, then, you know, giving your negative feedback, and then seal it up with something nice about themselves as well. That way that is the easiest way to make the feedback either to your college, to your friends, to even to your manager, to your, you know, subordinator, thing like that. So and in life too, you know, people want to hear feedback, and a constructive one, and that is a good way. And I noticed that a lot of us do have that method like naturally already. So but just something to keep in mind too, because I know Doug is somebody that really like he's like to play like devil advocate, and there's nothing wrong with it, and he's really good at it too. But like if we are not as good as he can, so probably you know, the sandwich approach is the way to make feedback to people. So I think that's the only thing that I can bring up today. And then we can definitely um the organizer team will talk about, you know, the agenda structure and everything maybe after, and then just to make sure that we have enough time to fit everything in, or we might even have to change the structure in the future. But the point is that it doesn't matter like how long it take, or like what we're gonna put in there, as long as everybody enjoy the section and everybody learn something after the section. There is a takeaway that you learn from. We already success with that. So thank you all for like being here today and making the event such a wonderful one today.
Thank you, Ethan. So thank you so much for keeping me on point, because I would try to push so hard for your, you know, table topic questions, because that what you were tasked today. But thank you for reminding me about people times and everybody's time for Sunday. Yes, as I said at the beginning, this is the new model we're trying to do, but obviously it didn't go as planned. Just like everything in life never go as planned. You plan it and you go different directions. You're laughing, so I know. So we have 2 presenter Q&A, and then more Q&A. So that's what we're gonna keep. And then the next event will be social event, when Ethan will have a chance to, not a chance, but we would have a chance to do table topic questions where everybody have a chance to talk and present yourself. Thank you so much for attending today. Thank you, presenter, and thank you everybody for all your points.
Chị Soan has something to say as well.
Yes, and then the critic, thank you so much. Adam's not here today, so he won't be the critics. You are my backup. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, I'm saying Chị Soan has something to say.
Yeah.
Soan's raising her hand.
Go ahead, Chị Soan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's such an interesting meeting, and I enjoy a lot because I think about the evaluation on the member have given such a great evaluation. I just want to share a little bit about my story in aspect of giving evaluations, like the sandwich method that Ethan has shared. Personally, I see like from my experience that it is good when I give the feedback. I see more, you know, positive things in life. So that is not about the receiver of the evaluation, but also personally for me, I feel that more, you know, joyful in life when we also see the good thing in life. So yeah, that's everything. I love the meeting today. Personally, I feel very related with Tran and Kim's story because I'm an introvert. I also very more into, you know, fitness as well. I love the meeting today. Thank you. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you. We are introverts, so we'll hope to see you next sessions when we do the tabletop questions. Thank you, Jihua, Zen, everybody, Whitney, everybody, Rosie. Thank you for joining such an early morning, and then have a great night, Kim. You're in Vietnam, so enjoy your sleep.
Thank you, sorry.
Oh,
Thank you,
can-
Flora. Thank you, everyone.
Can I keep the organizer in a meeting for 5 minutes, please? Bye,
Right,
guys.
Have a good night. Bye.
Enjoy the
Tian.
rest of your
Bye,
weekend.
Tom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Right. Are you guys